Hello viewers, I am Dr. N. Rajendra Prasad, the Assistant Professor of Chemistry at JSS College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Ooty Road, Mysore. I am working in the PG Department of Chemistry, and in this presentation session I am going to present my research paper, which is entitled Green Potentiometric Sensors for Assay of Donepezil Hydrochloride. This is the overview of my presentation. I am going to present the background of my work, the importance, principle, methodology involved, optimization, application, and finally the conclusion. As you know, the pharmaceutical industries will be taking on analytical methods in order to quality control the finished products. The quality of finished products is very essential in order to fix the dosage, because they have to be free from the interference or free from impurities. The qualitative aspects of the final finished products or the drugs are very essential in order to treat the diseases. So donepezil hydrochloride is a major therapeutic agent which is widely used to treat Alzheimer's disease. It is used as an Alzheimer's treatment therapeutic agent because it has the ability to increase the corticotactylcholine. Because of this property of donepezil hydrochloride, it is more commonly prescribed by the physicians or the doctors to treat the present generation and severe disease, which is Alzheimer's disease. This is the chemical structure of donepezil hydrochloride, which has the IUPAC name of this one what I have presented here, and it has the functional groups of keto group and tertiary amine group. Any analytical method needed to be developed by utilizing the available literature knowledge, the functional groups which are very essential. Very two interesting functional groups which are present in this compound are the keto group and the tertiary amine group. The sensors are developed in my work very beautifully in order to encash the application of the sensors and for their use as quantitative tools in order to determine the quantity of the donepezil in any solution, such as pharmaceutical preparation or the solution which can be prepared by our own in our laboratory. So this tertiary amine group will be widely encased while fabricating the sensor. To take any analytical method, the analytical method what we are going to develop for assaying any compound must be selective, must be specific, should be accurate and precise, it should be robust and rugged, it should be very easy to apply for real samples, and all over the results must be acceptable by the chemical community. The main principle involved in my work is let us construct a membrane, and that membrane will be constructed by utilizing the ion associating agents. The ion associating agents are positively and negatively charged species which can aggregate together to form an electrically neutral species, and this electrically neutral species will be utilized in order to construct a membrane. So if you take a non-conducting tube and the constructed membrane is sealed into one end of the non-conducting tube, and this tube with the membrane will be acting as a body of the electrode. So the tube is filled by the internal solution of the analyte solution, for which we are going to fabricate the membrane and for which we are going to determine the concentration, because these sensors are used for the potentiometric determination of the analyte. So into the internal solution, a reference electrode or a wire which is needed to be immersed, and that has to be connected to the terminal of the potentiometer. So this may be a reference electrode and a wire, whichever, either a reference electrode or a wire can be immersed into the internal solution which is present in the tube. So the systematic representation of the electrochemical cell, which is an half cell of the overall electrochemical cell, can be represented as, because we have used ion association complex to construct the membrane, that ion associate membrane which is present in the electrode tube, which is separated by a solution, analyte solution, which is taken as internal solution, which is denoted by analyte solution I, and ion associate membrane is a solid state that is denoted by a subscript S, and this has an interface with the reference electrode, and this reference electrode, which may be the wire which is immersed into the internal solution, or the reference electrode which is immersed into the internal solution. They are indicating a double slash for the salt bridge, and this salt bridge indicates the separation of the reference electrode and the membrane sensor and the internal solution of the analyte from the sample solution into which this electrode has been immersed. So with this, let us move on to the methodology for constructing the ion association complex, which is further used to construct the membrane electrode. We know, as I told you, the tertiary amine or amine, it is present in the compound. So after protonation, it will be converted into NH plus ion, and any ion associating agent if you take which is negatively charged, and they combine together to form an ionic aggregate which is known as ion association complex, which is electronically neutral. So you take ion association complex. What I did in my laboratory in order to construct the membrane sensor, that ion association complex was taken, which is treated with a PVC and a suitable plasticizer, and which has been given a shaping, and after drying to the room temperature, which was fixed into the non-conducting tube, again it was dried, conditioned, and which is used for calibration in order to fix the calibration range over which the concentration of donepezil can be determined, and the constructed electrode after calibration is ascertained, after the satisfactory calibration results are obtained, that was used to determine the concentration of the analyte in the tablet solution. So these two schemes represent two ion associating agents, namely sodium tetraphenyl boron and sodium phosphotungstate. These are the two ion associating agents which are used to react with donepezil hydrochloride, because donepezil hydrochloride will be present in cationic form in both the cases. This cationic donepezil hydrochloride will combine with either sodium tetraphenyl boron or sodium phosphotungstate to form donepezil hydrochloride tetraphenyl borate ion association complex or donepezil hydrochloride phosphotungstate ion association complex. These two ion association complexes are separately encased in order to fabricate the membrane sensors. So the detailed procedure in order to construct the membranes are given here. Around 15 milligram of either sodium tetraphenyl boron or sodium phosphotungstate mixed with 350 milligram of N-phenyloctyl ether, and this N-phenyloctyl ether will be acting as a plasticizer, and the matrix will be PVC of amount 220 milligram, and the ionophore will be the beta cyclodextrin of 15 milligram. All were dissolved in tetrahydrofuran of 10 ml. The content was stayed, dissolved and poured into a petri dish which is having a diameter of 5 centimeter and which was kept aside for 24 hours under the room temperature. And the membrane from the petri dish was removed and sealed into the non-conducting tube, and after drying that membrane electrode which was conditioned and used. So this membrane sensor can be systematically represented as, because into the internal solution a silver chloride electrode has been immersed, and that can be connected to the terminal of the potentiometer, that is denoted by AgAgCl which is separated by a salt bridge indicating by the double slash, and the DPH internal solution is present in the internal tube or the external tube, which is having concentration of 2 millimolar, which was also mixed with the KCl of 2 millimolar, and there a membrane is existing, and it has an interface with the diphenyl donepezil hydrochloride, a solution which is present in the sample, into which another silver chloride reference electrode has also been immersed. If you use this electrode, if I use the constructed electrode along with the reference electrode, which is silver chloride electrode, for determining DPH concentration, that is donepezil hydrochloride concentration, it will obey the Nernst equation in this manner. E cell is equal to K plus 0.05916 into log of DPH concentration which is present in the sample. So with this background, I can say that donepezil hydrochloride sensors will be actively functioning in order to sense the presence of DPH species in any given unknown solution. It is very essential to determine the stoichiometry of the composition between DPH and ion associating agent. This can be ascertained by very simple conventional method, that is conductometric titration. Here I got the result by titrating 10 ml solution of 0.01 molar donepezil hydrochloride with 0.01 molar solution of sodium tetraphenyl boron or sodium phosphotungstate. Two straight lines will be obtained for each titration set, and the point of intersection of the two straight line portion will be interpolated to the x-axis, and for both the curves it was ascertained from the titration curve, from the conductometric titration curve as presented in this figure, that the stoichiometry of 1:1 between DPH and sodium tetraphenyl boron or SPT can be ascertained. As you can see here, at the curvature, if you extrapolate the straight line portion, and both the straight lines will intersect at the mole ratio corresponding to 1:1, that is at 1. So therefore the stoichiometry between DPH and sodium tetraphenyl boron or SPT will be 1:1. And optimization is very important. The pH, soaking time, response time, stability of the electrode, and the response of the electrode to the interference are needed to be studied. These are the different graphs presented for showing the obtained results in the study of effect of pH, effect of soaking time, and the lifetime. The pH, as seen here for sensor 1 and sensor 2, in between 4.5 and 8, the active pH for both the sensors will be existing. And the effect of soaking time can also be seen here. Around 4 hours of soaking time is required for both the sensors. Before they have to be immersed in the analyte solution at least for 4 hours. And the lifetime of the sensors are up to 50 days. More than 50 days we can use these sensors. So up to 50 days no problem. And in between 50 and 60 days there is small variation in the results. Therefore, once these sensors are constructed, these sensors are suitable for quantification of donepezil up to 50 days. And apart from that, the plasticizer amounts have also been fixed, and you can see the amounts of plasticizers which were used from 100 to 500 milligrams of N-phenylactyl ether, dibutyl phosphate diactyl phthalate, dibutyl sebacate, etc. for both the sensors. Since in my work N-phenylactyl ether showed better results, therefore it was used in an amount 350 milligram in both the cases. And under these optimized conditions of the pH range what I have presented, and the soaking time, response time, etc., the calibration curves are obtained very excellent. So very good Nernstian behavior you can see from the results what I have presented in this particular table, that is indicated by the slope of 58.51 for sensor 1 and 57.24 for sensor 2 respectively. And these sensors are applicable to determine donepezil from the concentration range 1 into 10 power minus 6 to 8 into 10 power minus 3 molar. So excellent linearity is obtained, that is indicated by the correlation coefficient of 0.996 and 0.992 for sensor 1 and sensor 2 respectively. And the interference effects have also been studied, or indirectly I can say the selectivity coefficient denoted by KDPHI have also been studied for all the interference which are presented in this particular table. None of these species showed any interference during the usage of these two particular sensors for determination of the quantity of donepezil hydrochloride. So as you know from the literature, the EMF of the cell is not only related to concentration of analyte, in this case DPH, but also it is dependent on the interferent. So if you measure the potential of DPH solution even in the presence of very smaller amount of these species, the EMF have not been affected to the more extent. Therefore, the selectivity coefficient value have been determined by plotting the graph of concentration of the analyte versus the obtained EMF in the presence of the interference, and the selectivity coefficient values of less than 1 indicating non-interference of these species while using the sensors for determination of DPH by measuring the potential. And proposed sensors have been validated by following standard ICH guidelines, and mainly the precision and accuracy have been tested for both the sensors by using 3 different concentrations of DPH solution, namely 0.44 and 8 millimolar. In order to check the precision, the measured potentials were used to determine the amounts of DPH found, and ultimately the relative standard deviation, which was in the range from 2.11 to 5.11. which indicates precision is very good. And even the accuracy was also tested for the concentrations 0.44 and 8 millimolar dph. Only 2 to 5% of relative error was obtained, and this reflects the high accuracy of the proposed analytical methods by using the proposed sensors. The robustness was checked by varying the temperature in a small increment, that is by 0.5 degrees Celsius. Usually the temperature maintained was 25 degrees Celsius. So the performance efficiency of the sensors were checked at 20 and 25 and 30 degrees Celsius, and in that variations the RSD values were less than 5%. And even the ruggedness was also tested by using different potentiometers. By using the proposed sensors, the potentials of the solutions of dpH of these concentrations were measured and the RSD values were calculated. The obtained RSD values were less than 5%. So this indicates the acceptable precision and acceptable accuracy of the analytical methods, and thus the sensors are functioning very accurately and precisely. Both the sensors have been used to determine the donepezil hydrochloride concentration in Aricept tablets. Aricept is the brand name of the tablet which is available in the market. The results were obtained from the analysis of Aricept tablets by using the proposed sensors and a reference USP method were compared statistically in order to assure accuracy and precision. There is no any significant difference found between the results of the proposed analytical methods and the USP reference method. Therefore, these sensors found selective and they found accurately and precisely functioning when compared to the results of USP reference method. And even the recovery study indicating 97.81 to 101.67% recovery of donepezil hydrochloride from the tablet solution indicated these sensors are selectively functioning towards only donepezil hydrochloride, and nothing other than donepezil hydrochloride is involving in developing the potential while measuring the potential by using these indicator electrodes. So let me conclude my presentation, and I have developed two simple, selective, cost effective and easy to handle electroanalytical sensors, particularly for potentiometric determination of donepezil hydrochloride. The validation results obtained are highly excellent. Therefore, these sensors can be extended for the use in pharmaceutical industries because they are resulted agreeable results. This can be reflected from the use of proposed sensors to determine donepezil hydrochloride concentration in the tablet solutions. Therefore, these methods with the sensors are good candidates for routine analysis of donepezil hydrochloride solutions, especially in pharmaceutical industries. I thank the organizers for providing this opportunity to present my seminar in this conference. Thank you very much.